is the Digital Commission instead supports serious gerrymandering, creating interest-based constituencies, not constituencies as per the law. We believe, as the DF, that this is unconstitutional, and would like the Constitutional Court to pronounce itself on that void. 2, we are aware that the Electoral Commission procured voter verification machines that were used, and in using them, there was no enabling law. We believe that was a very serious void in processes, and because there was no law prescribing so their usage, their deployment, that's why the Electoral Commission was at liberty to even get away with them and reject their usage in some places and say they didn't function. They malfunctioned. The procurement process had issues because there was no enabling law. Would like the Constitutional Court to make particular pronouncements as to the validity of the usage of the VVR machines. Thirdly, the Electoral Commission purported to be updating the voters register. The register, as you're aware, was constructed at various stages using methods that were not very clear to the actors. The actors are the population, the political parties, civil society, and all stakeholders. Up to now, there's no clarity as to how the Electoral Commission came up with the register they used in the last election. And in the process, we believe that greatly compromised the integrity of the entire electoral process, because the electoral process is as good as the integrity of the processes, as good as the integrity of the register that is deployed to validate the election. Fourth, you are aware that for every presidential candidate, the Electoral Commission requires that you must get 100 signatures from 2/3 of the districts in the country. At the DF, we believe that that is unconstitutional. What the Electoral Commission says is that in collecting signatures from every district, 100 signatures, the candidate is a candidate, becomes a national, has a national outlook. But for a candidate sponsored by a political party, for you to register a political party, it must exhibit a national outlook. So for you to again require their candidate to again collect 100 signatures in every district, 2/3 of the districts, you're making them do double work. Is unconstitutional. We believe that the whole idea of signatures must be for independent candidates, not candidates sponsored by political parties. We're challenging that. Believe it wastes parties' resources, it wastes candidates' energy, because already if you're a political party, you're registered by the same Electoral Commission because you've exhibited that you are a party of national character. You don't have to do that again. So we would like the court, National Court, to pronounce itself on the validity of that act, which we believe is an act in West, and therefore duplicating work already done. 5, we all see the brazen interference of the military, to be particularly the UPDF and its attendant organs, interfering and making pronouncements of various nature that scattered the country and disoriented voters. This has been the case, and the UPDF continues in a particular way to interfere with the national elections. And this interference has compromised variously the independence of the Electoral Commission as supposed to be. So we are inviting the Constitutional Court to make a pronouncement on the continued interference, illegal interference of the UPDF, and the particular pronouncements made by the UPDF, in particular its commanders and officers at various stages, that we believe is unconstitutional and therefore has only served the purpose of causing disorientation and, in a way, disenfranchising. Sections of society have shared their views on this controversial bill. As a lawyer and as a leader and a citizen, I am aware, as well as my colleagues here, that the purpose of legislation is to solve serious or underlying particular society problems. In as far as this bill is concerned, the DF believes that the bill in its entirety is null and void, and there's no amount of cleansing that can change its evil intentions. And therefore, the DF has ordered its 5 members of parliament to reject this bill in its entirety, and we do not want to associate with its intentions. If you follow Parliament, you are aware that about a year and a half ago, Parliament, in a single day, amended over 11 existing laws, Acts of Parliament, including but not limited to the Anti-Money Laundering Act. We also amended the Anti-Terrorism Act to particularly take care of matters relating to illicit financial flows into the country, because we advised that if we don't do those amendments in haste, our financial systems will be closed from international transactions. And we did that about 1.5 years ago. Now, for anybody to return again to do the same job, but particularly we are aware that the government is interested just in about 2 or 3 clauses from this bill, and therefore they are hiding behind this to achieve the whole idea of extending the sell-by date of the NRM government. If the NRM wants to extend the sell-by date, you do not do by legislation. You do that by evolving pragmatic people-based people programs, not by legislation. So we are inviting Parliament, to which I am a part, to rise to the occasion and say, please, we have better things to do. And as the DF, on some of the issues herein, we are vindicated. For instance, the targeting of diaspora citizens is a matter the DF had wanted to overcome by involving diaspora citizens into civic activities of the country. If they were voters, there's no way to come up with legislation targeting them. So we'd like to invite the diaspora to always be alert, desist from excitement, and clearly understand what matters in this country. Now that this law is partly targeting diaspora, they must understand that part of the insurance they need is to be directly involved in the nation's civic activities, including voting. So the DF is ahead of time. We shall continue to pursue what we had advised the nation to do, and I think people never paid attention. So now that the chickens have come home, we invite again the citizenry to pay attention when leaders make mention of particular pertinent issues that might affect them today and in the years ahead. So we are informing the country that the DF believes that in a nation that we are, that is a melting pot of ideologies, cultural, religious. We don't have to do anti-people legislation. And the NRM must understand the whole idea of legislating across partisan lines. So if you do not understand what it means to do legislation that is bipartisan, this is a bipartisan bill. This is a partisan bill. It cannot pass the test of a bipartisan bill. That's why many citizens and agencies, private, public, civil society are rejecting it. Because when people hold it, they don't notice themselves in that bill. It's entirely a single party bill. We want to invite the NRM that after 40 years in power, you must be thinking of tabling bipartisan legislations, not legislations that disenfranchise and make the NRM a superior entity and other actors in public space to look as though they are alien. So the bill fails the critical test of a pro-people bill, and therefore the DF rejects this in entirety. The third issue we'd like to bring to your attention is an issue that is playing out in public space back and forth. It has to do with the trade order to which government has issued back and forth orders through the Ministry of Local Government.